States of America, with his band, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Each month we share a portion of our vision, mission, and belief statement, and this month is vision and mission. Vision, engaging, educating, empowering everyone every day. And the mission, the Bloomfield School District engages our students in learning, educates our students in academic and life skills, empowers our students for the future, and embraces everyone's differences every day. And our next agenda item is Students of the Month. Sorry. Sorry.
Off guard.
Mr. Dean actually said something funny. I had to laugh. All right, so my student of the month this month is fourth grader Carly Anderson. Carly, come on up here real quick, babe. So Carly is in Mrs. Van Dievender's classroom, and she is the daughter of Michael Anderson and Shayna Whitlock, and Shayna's right back here. Yep. There with her. So I asked her a few questions. We're going to go over a few things, see if you can remember this, all right? You have any brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
That was easy, wasn't it? Can you name them?
Michael, Corey, Waylon, Casey, Kaylin, and Lucy.
All right. Do you like all of them?
Not all of them.
Not all the time anyway, right? So we went through a few things. What's your favorite subject? That's right here. There you go. Good job. I only picked the good ones. And favorite food? What kind?
Cheese.
There you go. All right, 2 for 2. You're getting it. What's your favorite hobby?
Helping my mom cook.
You told me playing outside.
There's two.
There's 2. You can have 2. We'll do that. Is that true, Mom? She help you clean?
Sometimes.
Yeah? Oh, that's good. Good job.
Mostly when she wants something.
Right? Let's tell her that. All right. What is your favorite color?
Purple.
Purple. And I asked you what your favorite movie, TV show, cartoon was, and you said?
Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry. There you go. I'm going old school with us here. So Mrs. Van Dievender, you want to hear what she has to say about you?
Yeah.
All right. Miss Van Dievender says, Carly comes to school with a great attitude and a smile on her face every single day. She doesn't give up when her schoolwork gets difficult. She has increased her reading level already from a 2nd grade level to a 4th grade level since school has started. Yes. Good job. I am very proud of her and thankful she is in my class. She makes our room a better place. That is awesome. Great job. Great job. So I have a plaque here for you. And we can get the backdrop out. Okay, what do you think, Mr. Dean? Where should we take the picture at, you think?
Front of the book.
Right here? How about stand right over here in front of the books? And let me get your picture. Mom, if you want to come take a picture, you're welcome to as well. All right. Are you ready? Give me a big smile now. 1, 2, 3. There you go. I heard that. It's not a burner phone. Good job, kid. No, sure. Keep that. Good job. Keep up the good work, all right?
Good job.
Carly Anderson, everybody. All right, Mr. Dana.
All right, I've got Students of the Month for October for our 7th grade and juniors. And so first off, I'm going to have our 7th grade Student of the Month, and that is Mr. Joe Heaton. Joe, come on up here, buddy. All right. Good? Okay. All right, so Joe, as I mentioned, is in 7th grade. His favorite food, I like this pot pie. Good choice on that. His clubs, programs, things that he's involved with, he is into bowling. He is a member of our bowling team, so congratulations on that. I am taking him from bowling, but he will be going tomorrow. He's practicing. His hobbies, he enjoys drawing. His favorite subject, math. He loves math. Mom, there you go. Yeah, that's right. It's honest. It's honest. I love this question. I love this answer right here. What do you like most about Bluefield Middle and High School? After school. Joe, congratulations, buddy. Got you a plaque here for that. I got you a T-shirt here. As we said, that says the Bloomfield Cardinals on the front and the Cardinal Way on the back. Okay. If I need to get it size bigger, it's a large. If I need to get it XL, okay, I can get that. Now, Mom's going to get a picture of you right over here. So if you don't mind, stand right there in front of the bookstore. Okay. I already tweeted out the picture, so Mom, you can get that. All right, good job, Joe. Well done. All right. And now our second student of the month is Junior Shaylee Ray. Come on up here, Shaylee. Bolted her up. She's asleep on the back there. Bolted her up. Just gonna motor her way up here. I bugged her like 6 times today, making sure she's gonna be here. I think part of the time she's just toying with them. You got it? Gotta navigate that thing. All right. All right. Miss Shaylee Ray, how are you?
Okay.
You okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you made it. I'm so happy that you're here. All right. So Shaylee responded to my questions. I told her these were big softball questions, so easy. Her favorite food. I'll be honest, I've not heard this before. Strawberry chicken. Tell me about it.
I put orange chicken flat, so
Strawberry. There you go.
Yeah.
Duh.
I've only ever seen it at the food court.
Okay.
Anywhere else than sell it.
Just a food court.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you like it, so I know it's going to be good. She's involved in art club. She is an artist. Her hobbies, she enjoys crafts. Her favorite subject, biology, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And what does she like most about Bloomfield Mill and High School? The teachers. Yes, good job. Shaylee, congratulations. All right. All right. Go during the week. There's that for you. All right. Okay. Mom, you want to grab a pic up here? Okay. Now let's get through there. You want to get in front of the wheel in there and get in front of the books, okay?
There you go.
Well done.
Hold that for me.
Good 3-point turn. Right. Hey, here is your shirt. I told you halfway. All right. Okay. All right. Good job. Congratulations. All right. Right there. There you go. That's exactly right. Okay. All right. You're making her way there. Yeah. There she goes.
Good job, Taylor.
Well, again, congratulations to the students of the month and to their parents. And I'd like you to stay for the rest of the meeting, but if for some reason you need to leave, we'll pause for just a second. Greg Newsom?
All right, I have a few here. I'll start off with recognizing Miss Kristen Sylvester. She, in a moment of need, just a week or so ago, we had a student that was outside the nurse's office and started choking. And she immediately went into action, performed the Heimlich maneuver, and helped that student out. And I just feel like that's something that should definitely be recognized. Didn't hesitate, didn't think about it, just jumped into action. And I hope if I'm ever put in that situation, I'll do the same thing. So I do appreciate her and her efforts. She's one of our aides, a one-to-one aides from the co-op that is here on a daily basis. Also, with that,
Students are getting guessing.
yeah, great. Yeah, he just a little bit too much in there. That's all. So, also, I'd like to recognize our local firefighters. Every year we have Fire Safety Week. Every year they come in, they take over the middle school gymnasium. Classes rotate through our activity schedule, and they teach them about fire safety. They do a great job. They take pride in it, and then they take them out. They show them the trucks, how they operate. It's a big deal for the kids, and I really appreciate it. And I think it's something that young ones need to know. What do you do if your house catches on fire? How do you react? And it's really amazing listening to some of the questions they actually have, that they think more into it than you would guess that they would. So I do appreciate our firemen, and every year I don't have to call them; they start calling me. When you want to do this, when you want to set it up, we'd like to come on this date. And so Randy Baker is the chief there, and he is on top of it. So I appreciate them. Stephanie Hill and our student council, they ran Red Ribbon Week this week, and they had some different things that they did for the classes to bring drug awareness to our students. Had a spirit week, and just to make everyone aware of the need there. So she does that every year. I appreciate that. Also recognize Susan Street and Kent Hill, our counselors. They have begun Operation Christmas Child for this year. Last year when they did this, they collected items and they gave Christmas gifts basically to families in the area. And they helped over 100 families last year. So it's a big undertaking. They do it basically on their own. It's just the two of them. So really appreciate their efforts. Right before I came over here, I was over at the elementary there. Our third grade group of teachers had their pumpkin spectacular. And that's where, if you haven't seen this yet, it's really pretty cool. And the kids take a lot of pride in it. But they read a book. They basically take a pumpkin and do whatever they need to do with it to represent a character in that book. And so they give a little spiel once in a while when their parents are there. Someone will do a little spiel for them. So kind of give them an idea of what their character's role in the book was. So they do it every year. It's always pretty cool to see what these kids come in with these pumpkins and how happy they are when they're doing that. Also, along those same lines, last week, our fifth grade teachers, mainly Ms. Shaw kind of oversees this, but they do their Native American habitat models. And again, same scenario. They're learning about Native Americans, how they lived, and their history, and they create those models as well. So it's a good way to get the kids to want to read or want to learn about something, knowing that they've got this project to do as well. They take a lot of pride in this project. So that's what I have there. Last thing I want to say is I know that this is the last board meeting for our superintendent.
I have
One more.
You have one more?
You should get down real quick.
I know you're disappointed.
Well, forget it.
Okay, recognitions there for the middle school and high school. Back on October 4th, Bloomfield High School hosted the Southwest Choral Festival. We had 8 different area schools that participated, and Ms. Helms and volunteers and all the instructors, and they had a guest conductor from Indiana University come down. They did a very nice job. And so Bloomfield had, like I said, 8 different school districts here during the day, and then that evening they had their performance. We also had PSAT Day for grades 9, 10, and 11. The state we paid for the PSAT 9. The state covers 10 and 11. And then, of course, this spring we'll have SAT Day for the juniors, which is their state assessment. Seniors took their early college trip to Ivy Tech on the 12th of October. That day that grades 9, 10, 11 were doing the PSAT. Seniors went to Ivy Tech. We spent the morning up there. They fed us lunch. We took a tour. Of course, Ivy Tech is our general ed partner, a higher ed partner. And so it's an important trip. There will be some seniors certainly that go to Ivy Tech, but they're all Ivy Tech students. So right now, currently, so every service that they have for Ivy Tech students, our kids have that. Tutoring, lab, library, tuition, savings, textbook, all that. Our students have those services right now as they're in this building. So that's a nice thing to have. And it kind of brings that back to them when they talk about, when it's time to transfer, not transfer, but to get their transcripts ready and move those on and taking care of that. So that was a nice trip. And last year we did it in the spring, which kind of coming off the COVID and all that, getting that back. So we'll have, let's see, freshmen went to BU, seniors went to Ivy Tech, sophomores going to Oakland City, and juniors are going to USI. Those two will be coming up here in the next few weeks. FFA, right now, currently, we got several members that are attending the FFA National Convention in Indianapolis. They went up yesterday morning, left for school. They'll get back Friday evening. So I can't remember, somebody was talking about how many thousands of students come in from all across the nation. It's pretty neat. So we're fortunate, number one, to be here and to be in Indianapolis and be attending that. Also want to give a shout out to Brace and Neal and Tucker Lent. They harvested our FFA plaque down here and did a very nice job. Danny Lent helped with that. I really did the equipment and everything, but the boys did it. They did all of it. They took care of it. And they've already sown wheat for next year and have that as cover crop. They've already got a plan for next year. So really proud of that. And they should get a fairly decent price there for their haul on that. From there, several athletes to mention here. We finished up our fall athletic season, and JB helped me out here, but I think we had upwards of 120 athletes. Am I correct? 125 or 6 fall athletes, middle school through high school. That's almost a third of our student population that was involved in athletics on top of other things. So how many opportunities we have for students. And I think that this goes to show you, that is not the norm. And that's just not the norm in school anymore. Kids aren't as involved as what they used to be. Let's say if you don't, whatever you want to look at it for the number of opportunities, distractions, whatever they have. And I'm very proud of the fact that our kids are involved. And I think that speaks volumes of our climate. I think it speaks volume for our school, for our families, for the students to be involved, because we are a stronger school when that happens. So just recognition of some fall athletes here as we've wrapped up the fall season. Malia Fischel and Jaden Metis. They were both SWIAC. Malia was SWIAC All Conference. Jaden was SWIAC Honorable Mention from the conference meet. Both were regional participants in the cross country, which was held. The sectional was at BNL and the regional was at Edgewood. CJ Sylvester was a SWIAC All Conference. In fact, he was placed first. He won the conference meet this year. He also moved out of the sectional into the regional and semi-state. Titus Lehman was a SWIAC All Conference as well and made it to the regional in that piece. Travis Priest, Gracie Neal, and Quentin Ross were all SWIAC Honorable Mention for boys tennis. Brianna Brewer was SWIAC All Conference volleyball, as was Delaney Richardson, Addison LaFree, freshman, and Andy Pegg. They were all SWIAC volleyball All Conference. So I wanted to recognize them, and they will have their conference banquet next Thursday. So congratulations to them and others, and thank you very much.
All right, thank you. And is there any public comment?
Yeah. Preston Wheelock.
I just wanted to talk about you guys are looking at middle school soccer. I just wanted to say that I thought it was a good idea because I know growing up I was always in the Greene County League, and sometimes it was when my parents didn't make a whole lot, so sometimes it was a struggle getting over to the games and stuff. And I know it helped me a lot doing soccer. It helped with confidence, and then just also more or less gave me that output for going on. And I went to go for college, but I never did actually try out for a college team though. So, but I know that it does help with the opportunity for kids to get scholarships, and the more that they have of it being school structured and being able to play besides just local people in the county, it helps get them better and have better opportunities of getting scholarships and more ways to pay for school. Because I know there's not anything getting cheaper right now, so it's just going to get worse and worse. And I know it's more for the school to take on financially, but I mean, I think compared to some sports, soccer's a lower cost sport as far as equipment and stuff goes. I mean, there's a lot more higher cost sports out there that could be compared to soccer. But even if it could be something that could be done, even like a co-ed team, even would be, I think, a good idea. Just so that way it's more better for the kids as they get into high school, so they have a better chance of being more competitive with the other schools since they've played the same kids over and over throughout the years and all gain levels of skill together. So it's just wanted to say. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and now for the consent agenda.
All right, consent agenda. The consent agenda is things that are done every month. They're pretty consistent, like the meeting minutes from our last board meeting. And then we had an executive session and a special session. So the minutes from that as well. Special meeting on October 24th and the executive session at the same night as well. And so the meeting minutes are there. And then we always have the treasurer's report, which has the appropriation fund report and claims listed. And then we have personnel as well. So in there, we have the retirement of Mrs. Shannon Dean. She has served the school well, and she is going to retire for many years. And I'm sure we'll have a big retirement party for her at some point here in recognition. And then we have some athletic positions that are being hired. And then my resignation is on there effective November 18th. And I may say more next board meeting, but I had an opportunity up north by my hometown for a job and decided to go back up with family. It's totally a family decision. Things have been going well here. We're happy here. We decided being back up with family was important to us and had that opportunity, so we took that. And then there's donations. We always recognize our donors here as well. So Barrett Cumming made a donation in memory of Bill Seif, or excuse me, Bartlett. Cumming made a donation in memory of Bill Seif, and thank you, Bartlett, for that donation. Any questions on the consent agenda? I always wonder, when they do that, like, you know, when they vote on the resignations, like, we get a lot of not.
Yeah, we got, I will remove that name.
Just recognize.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Well, I would like to make one comment on Dr. Lang's resignation. I remember when we went through the interviews and, you know, at the time COVID was just getting started. And we were just impressed that we had any applicants at the time. And, you know, as we were going through them, the board, you know, we had to take a chance on somebody that we didn't know, somebody that's not from this area, somebody that hadn't been a superintendent. But the board saw something in Dr. Lehman that we wanted here at Bloomfield. But then he had to take a bigger leap of faith coming to Bloomfield, leaving his family, coming in just a couple months into COVID and knowing that we were starting a construction project. So, you know, I believe he took a bigger leap of faith than we did, but I'm sure glad that he did come and appreciated all that he's done in the last 2.5 years. So,
Thank
Okay.
you.
If any other questions or comments? If not, do I have a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
Okay, all in favor? All right, thank you. Now for other business.
Okay, we had our collective bargaining, formal negotiations for the teacher contract, and Monday night was the special board meeting to share that with anybody that wanted to come and hear details of that. So we presented that, we've attached that. Any further questions tonight, the board just needs to vote to ratify that contract.
Comments? All right, do I have a
So
motion?
I do want to make one comment. So my understanding is that the teachers union is in favor of this and that everything's favorable. I just want to make that statement so that no one's thinking, well, have we consulted them? Have we, the agreement is they were very supportive of this. And this was actually their proposal, their side.
Yeah, so you have, there's a certain date that formal negotiations start, talk about, negotiate the contract, and if they have come to a tentative agreement, then they have them with their teachers to ratify them and say, yes, we support this, we want this now, and then we have to have a public hearing to explain that, which was Monday night. And then, and now it's up to the board to approve that. The teachers have already ratified it. Now it's your turn to ratify. Okay, make it official. All right, and then I send it to the state.
Have any other questions or comments? All right, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, and a second?
I'll say.
All right, all in favor? Thank you.
Okay, in that, through legislation, there's, in order to meet what we needed to for the state and for what we negotiated with the teachers, we have to do a supplemental payment for the resolution. And so that's attached to your agenda. Any questions about that? So you have to have that as a separate line item.
Questions or comments? All right, seeing none, do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
All right, and a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? Thank you.
Okay, also we have non-certified staff here that aren't teachers, but are very important for the school to function appropriately. We're asking for a 4% increase in their salary and to the insurance split as we've done in the past. That's 4% increase for our non-certified staff and traditional split of the insurance increase costs.
So will this start like January 1st?
No, this will start as soon as we get it going in our financial program. For your paycheck.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
I'll motion it.
Okay, and a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? All right, thank you.
All right, and then administrative contract is separate, so the teacher, non-certified staff and administration has to have, so we're asking for a contract renewal of our administrators with a 3% addition to their base salary. Questions on that?
Questions or comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
All right, and a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? All right, thank you.
All right, ROTC is asking for any field trips that are overnight or out of state, have to have special board approval, and the ROTC is asking for a trip December 9th through 12th to Cincinnati, Ohio, for an Area 3 regional contest.
Any questions or comments?
I just really am glad he keeps finding great opportunities for his kids. They are doing a lot of activities and he's growing that group and it's tremendous.
And I love seeing them outside yesterday, Greek. Was that yesterday?
Reading the elementary kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're very fortunate. So I'll make a motion.
Okay, and do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor? All right, thank you. And now for the middle school soccer proposal.
Yeah,
So-
Steve, I'll get this set up. Steve Corbin contacted me a couple weeks ago and said, can we get this on the agenda? So generally, when something like this is on the agenda, it's informational, and the board considers it, and then you know, if he's asking for a decision, it usually comes later, but we just, you may ask questions tonight after your presentation.
Okay.
All right?
Kind of smooth, kind of hard to- Okay.
Right in the back.
Oh.
All right. Hey, I can just walk around and display it.
Yeah.
It's quick.
I can just talk about that.
I'm Steve Corbin. I'm the president of the local junior high soccer club. Have been for 2 years. Prior to that, I was involved with Greene County Soccer for a number of years. I coached a lot of kids around here, and both my kids play middle school soccer here at Bloomfield. And so we're requesting to add middle school soccer as an official sport. We started the program 4 years ago, or this was our 4th year, 2019. We had 15 kids, co-ed team, all coached by Mike Woods. And the second year we're up to 19. The third year we had a boys team and a girls team with 9 boys and 15 girls. Also both teams coached by Mike. It was a kind of rough year. We had a lot of kids doing double duty because we were shorthanded at times. And then this year we had 14 boys and 20 girls. Mike coached the boys and Danny McCormick coached the girls. And they were both really young teams, a lot of 5th and 6th graders. But we came home with the boys winning their bracket in the tournament, winning a trophy that's over there by Mike, and the girls won 2nd place in their bracket. And it was a really good cap to the end of the season. Some of the benefits of having a junior high soccer team starting now is that we have brand new uniforms that we bought this year. And we actually bought a 2nd round of uniforms because we've heard that there's going to be about 10 to 15 new 5th graders again next year. So we may end up with 2 girls teams, like a JV and varsity team there in the Indiana Junior High Soccer Association. We've got $6,500 in the bank, roughly. So that's money that'll come into the athletic department. Additional revenue stream for admission to the games and potentially additional sport passes purchased by the middle school soccer parents would be a benefit. We've got a camera that we bought for recording games, so that already exists for both the high school and middle school to use. And there's no additional overhead for the facilities. We're using the facilities that the high school's already using same lines, same goals, same field, everything. And the coaches do all the scheduling for the conference. Mike and Danny have gone the last 2 years to schedule with the other teams. And we had 13 games, I think, this year for each team. We did identify a handful of drawbacks just to make sure we're being completely open here. I don't know if transportation is technically required, but if it is, that would be one drawback. The small buses could potentially be utilized, so that we don't have to pay a bus driver and just have the coaches drive. There are consumable costs in the future in uniforms and balls for the team. And then there's a cost to be in the conference that we're in, $50 per school. You can have as many teams as you want. And then if you want to play in the tournament, it's $125 per team for the tournament. Currently, the local teams that are within an hour or less are White River Valley, Eastern Green, Washington Catholic, Sullivan, Bar Reeve, Seven Oaks, which I believe is in Ellettsville, Mitchell and Shoals. Mitchell and Shoals aren't in the conference, but they've got middle school teams here locally. And then just to cap it off, I had a picture of the teams at the end of the season with their trophies and medals that they got. Kids had a lot of fun. We've got a handful of people that showed up tonight to support us. Dixie played this year and did an awesome job. So just want to thank you guys for your consideration.
Thank you.
Any questions? Yeah. Any questions or comments?
Do you guys still want the coats? Coaches?
Yes.
Danny
We
definitely.
So we had 5 coaches this year, myself, Danny McCormick, John Dickinson, and Parker Ramsey. And I've already talked to all of them. They're all willing to come back next year.
We have parents that are willing to help with concessions.
Yeah, so so my wife has been doing a lot of stuff in the concessions for both high school and the junior high, but we haven't had a problem having somebody work the concessions at our games.
But if this is sanctioned through the school, doesn't it go through our athletic department to do the scheduling? How does that work?
A lot of times coaches will work with the AD
Okay.
to schedule, so it'd just be
Yeah, so just so you're aware of how the conference that we're in, it's a really big conference, stretches, we're basically on the north end, along with Eastern, and it stretches down to Evansville and Tell City. And they have a meeting in the summer down at Ferdinand, and it's kind of like a speed dating kind of thing. You're going around and talking to different coaches, and because you want to A, schedule close games, but B, also schedule games that you're going to be competitive in, because there are schools that will just mop the floor with a team that's mostly 5th and 6th graders, and then there's other schools that we play very competitively against. We played Jasper last year because they were having trouble scheduling games, and it was a really good team, mostly 8th graders. But the coach was really gracious with us and pulled his kids back and put his bench in and had them running drills so that they weren't just running our kids ragged on the field. So that was a positive experience for a pretty rough game.
Maybe what are your thoughts?
I think we need to have a discussion, like Steve said, weigh the pros, the cons, where we're at with the facility usage and things like that.
Do you see any conflicts with the time of the field scheduling?
They've been using that the past 3 or 4 years anyway.
Okay.
I mean, that's been fine. I mean, they schedule, around us, around our game.
Yeah, we always would until they had the high school games scheduled. And then every time there was another event out there on the field, we would cancel our practices or shift them. However we needed. Yeah, yep.
I mean, we have the practice field, so even whenever we have a tennis match going on, I mean, they can still practice, even if our teams are out there. So the facility's not the issue, really.
You just said you got all brand new uniforms. Did
Yeah.
you buy extras for this influx of students? Or
We have a total of 80 jerseys,
Wow, okay.
red and gray.
Seriously, we had to put, there was a lot of uniforms.
How are the, I know JB, you had mentioned a while back to me about the lighting out there. there on the fields, is that still something that hasn't been accomplished yet, right? Or
Yeah, we have no lights.
that doesn't affect?
No, we just, we've made sure that the later in the year it gets, we get the games in early. We've had to shorten a couple of games because it gets dark pretty quick, in the end of, September. But a lot of the teams are dealing with that as well. So sometimes we have both games in one night, and then sometimes they're completely separate, like we may have the boys home and the girls away, or we'll play them on different nights. It just kind of depends on how it goes in the schedule.
Most of the teams in conference, are they co-ed or?
About probably, what, a third to half?
Yeah, most of them are boys, girls teams, but there are a couple of co-ed teams, and there are a couple of junior high or lower levels. So some of the schools have like a boys varsity, boys, girls varsity, and then a boy and girl JV team as well.
Jacob and Dixie, did you guys play in the league in junior high before? Well, you did, yeah. Obviously, it's your junior
This was
high.
your third year, Dixie? Yeah. We didn't have it. Jacob played over at Linton for several years.
Yeah. You didn't play in junior high?
No. No, we started the year after the high school, so it would have been your freshman year that we started.
Okay.
That's what it's my pictures. What do you think, Dixon? What's your perspective? You like it? Your friends like it?
It went in, maybe you don't know, it's not your territory, but do they go up to 6th grade at the Linton?
I think they're up to, and Preston, you're coaching over there, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, right now, as I'm on the board over there, and right now it's been a struggle getting anything past 8U to have enough to be able to have a good team. So it's where it kind of falls apart since WRV started their soccer program. It's taken
Yeah,
a lot
so
away.
when we started our middle school program, when back that up, when Bloomfield started the high school program and WRV had a high school program, basically, well, the high school kids can't play. And then when we started the middle school and WRV had their middle school, you get some kids that would do both, but it's a lot. So a lot of parents don't want to do that. And so they basically up to about 12, they had kids. But then a year or so ago, WRV started an academy for kids younger than that. And so that competes a lot with the program in Linton.
Hey, Coach Blake, what does this do for your theater program for you? How's it help the high school?
What?
You.
Sorry.
How does this help the high school team?
I mean, the more time they play together, the better we're gonna be in high school. So obviously having it in school affiliated is gonna help just getting more kids out there, that kind of stuff.
Okay, how many girls played last year?
Last year, girls wise on the thing was a struggle. I think we had 11. So we played a lot of games with 9 and 10 girls, which is not even the minimum you could have on the field. So having 20 girls on that team, it was like joy to me. So, I mean, this year we had 15, but still we had six girls probably that this was their first year ever playing soccer. So if you had a feeder program with them going through and playing 4 years, the competition that we would be able to put out would be tremendously higher.
And we had, I think, sixth graders, 10 fifth graders, 1 8th grader, 3 7th graders this year in the middle school. And like I said, they were talking like 14 or 15 potentially 5th graders next year wanting to play. And so as these kids grow together and learn the game better and work together, it's just going to be beneficial to Ryan's team for sure, especially on the girls' side because he's had a lot less experience on the team.
You said you've got money in your bank account. How have you accumulated that money? Is it through ticket sales?
Ticket sales, and up until this year, we were doing our own concessions at the field, And then this year, we worked concessions, but all the food went through the school, so the money went to the school. And so we were, just charging for ticket sales. Because we haven't charged the family with anything to play.
I also see this program building in the elementary side. I see the little ones getting excited about it too, and we can put teams together out there.
Yeah.
I know that there's been talks about starting, and I've been approached about starting the academy, basically like WRV has, where we could bring in 4th through K and have them do some interaction, whether it be like on a weekend and possibly just charging, like make t-shirts with numbers, like a maroon and a white, and have kids, this weekend you wear the maroon, this weekend you wear the white, and just set up games and just get them involved in soccer and being out and being active. So.
Yeah, that's where your feeder program starts, is when you get them little ones going. So.
And if you've ever seen like 4 and 5-year-olds play soccer, it's kind of enjoyable. So.
Something like that.
Yeah. Comical, I know. Do they tell you, I know when Turner played at Linton, he didn't play this year, but the year before they used that field out there beyond the parking lot occasionally for practices, is that?
Yeah, sometimes when we've had a team that was like heavy on like Bloomfield and Eastern kids.
Right.
And it's from a Greene County soccer perspective, it was really easy to allow, like we did it at the fire station one year behind there. I've seen people practice over in that field in front of Berrigan Force, and basically the organization sends their insurance, hey, we need to insure this area, and so with Greene County Soccer, we actually submitted that insurance so that it wouldn't be on the school's insurance if anything were to happen to any of the kids that would go through that program. And we did the same thing with we paid for our own insurance with the middle school since it's not officially a service board. Yeah, nice big yard back there too. Gets a little rutted up at Apple Festival though.
That's all good. That's fine. Yeah.
All right, anything else? Yeah, any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries.
Have a trouble shot.
All right. Next up.
Yeah, so we have a resolution for the budget. So we advertise the budget, and the state gives us what's called 1782, which tells us what they'll actually give us. So what this resolution does is allow us to make adjustments in our 2020 budget based on what we should give the state. So the resolution will do that.
Seeing none, do I have a motion? All right, and a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? Okay, thank you.
The next resolution is a transfer resolution, very similar situation here to basically clean and balance our books at the end of the year for funds that maybe we overspent a little bit. And ones that we've underspent allows us to transfer funds in our budget to balance the books at the end of the year, and so we can spend them appropriately in 2023. Transfer resolution in order to do that, for permission to do that.
Okay, any questions or comments? Seeing none, we have a motion. All right, and a second? All right, all in favor? Okay.
All right, school calendar for next school year, 23-24. And the way this usually works is we talk to the administrative team, and if there's been several requests for a change in the calendar, we try to put those in the survey. Also talk to the teachers as well. And so we get, various requests. And there's things we haven't pulled on before, knowing that, kind of the past they haven't been too interested in. We send a survey out there. It's ultimately our decision, but we like to get input from the families and teachers. And so we had some choices this year, and just like last year, one of the first questions is, do you want any change to the calendar at all? Last year, I think 55% said keep it the same, and this year it was a very similar amount that they just want to keep the calendar the same. So, so the same corresponding dates as this year, for the most part. Well, I won't say for the most part, we try to correspond the best we can. Christmas break in there, the way it's on the weekend next year, so it's only broken up 2 weeks, but it's thing that seems a little different than this year's. But fall breaks the same time, spring breaks the same time it's always been, start of school is the same time. So the big things is what we're proposing. Any questions on that calendar?
Yeah, I'd like to say that I think that when we're doing the surveys, I think it would be a good idea to actually put the actual date options in there for some of the, like the spring break and fall break. I know when we say keep the school calendar the same as last year with corresponding dates, sometimes that's confusing because not everybody understands how we pick those corresponding dates. Like, I know David said that we've always gone with the last full week, like spring break, the last full week of March, I think is what it is.
Several years, yeah.
And then, but that changes. That might be the third week or the fourth week. Sometimes it's like last year when we did that, it actually moved the spring break back 1 week. Whereas it didn't because it was still the last full week of the month, but it was confusing because it was actually a week later. So my opinion, I think it would be helpful and less confusing to people if they actually put the dates of the breaks on there instead of just putting last year's corresponding dates and keeping the same calendar because, and if you actually go back and look at last year's calendar, we actually had the dates wrong for what spring break was. So it definitely does make it confusing, I think, to people when they're making choices on that.
Didn't the survey actually have the calendar demonstrated on it? I thought.
Any other questions or comments on the calendar? All right, seeing none, do we have a motion? And do I have a second? All right, all in favor? And all opposed? All right, motion carries. And superintendent search. So we researched the different options for a superintendent search. We talked to a couple other schools that have recently went through searches. One school said that they did it themselves, the board did. And luckily that board had somebody that was retired that could manage that. But I couldn't get a volunteer from our board to do that. So we looked at the other options that were available. The last two times that we did a search, we used the university search team. And they are 4 professors from 4 Indiana universities that help schools search for superintendents. Another option is the Indiana School Board Association. They have a team that helps schools search. And then there is a private company called Administrative Assistants, is that correct? That also helps schools search. So we've talked about them. You've seen all the material from the different ones. So at this time, we need to make a decision on which direction we want to go. Do I have a motion to pick one of the searches?
Motion that we start with the free university search for now.
Okay.
And if that falls through, we can always.
We had good luck with it.
We did,
Yeah,
that's
so
yeah.
it worked last time.
Yeah, the last time we got Mr. Layman.
Yep.
So.
So Katie, is that the university search team? Is that what you're proposing?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
yes, the one that does cost.
And do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor? All right, thank you. And now for the superintendent's report.
Okay, as always here, a lot of times Dave and Mike cover most of the things going on. I'll give a little bit of a construction update. We have had substantial completion, which basically means and we're not quite to final completion yet. We're very close. There's just things that have to get finalized. There's some issues with painting and graphics, quality of paint, things like at the gates. Just got here today, for example. Had a little leaking in the gym, which I found is kind of normal, even with the new roof. They just have to make adjustments up there, which I don't understand that, but it's dealt with and on that. So still a few things to finalize here. I know one thing, a couple things definitely won't be done before next board meeting is doors. They can't get doors for some reason. Did you? Okay. All right. So we're waiting on several doors.
We just have no. I've been waiting for a long time.
Yeah, and then in the elementary, those basement rooms on the far west side, to make those ADA compliant, we have to put an elevator in. Elevators here, but it came literally right when school started, and they need 4 straight weeks to be able to put that in. And the only time we have 4 straight weeks that wouldn't be disruptive to school is next summer. So that's going to be put in June. So that is another thing that won't be done. But there's just really small things left to do before we can get final completion on the building project. So just a little update on that. I'll just leave it at that. It's been a good meeting, and I appreciate everybody here tonight. Any other specific questions for you?
Any other update on the construction budget?
The construction budget, so waiting on landscaping is the only quote I'm waiting on, and we've allotted, we've got that allotment that we have for landscaping plus some more, but almost all the bills are paid. So we're right at budget where you want to be. And we can fudge with that landscape budget.
You may not know this, but so they need 4 weeks to put the elevator in. So, why can't they do that while we're here?
It would be a huge distraction. That whole area, that's where our whole fifth grade is, our largest class. And they, we asked if they could do a second shift or evenings, and there was going to be a significant premium, an added cost to do that. So, and it's going to be a huge distraction.
My thought was just like doing it,
It's going to be a mess. So we just decided to wait until. They said they need 4 straight.
Questions or comments? All right. Do we have any board member comments and items for future agendas?
I have a question regarding the presentation for soccer. So where are we going from here with this?
Well,
My question, go ahead.
yeah, that was what I was going to bring up too. I think we owe it to Steve and the rest of the team that presented, let them know what the next steps are. And from my understanding, I think, our administrative team would go back and discuss all the positives and benefits and the difficulties that we might have with putting together that program as a school-sponsored sport. And then they would make a recommendation to the board, is the way I would see it. It would come from the superintendent. That's the way we've always done that in the past. And, but either way, we would have a formal response from the board that way.
Appreciate it.
You said that would be.
No. I thought about it too. I thought we need to.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, any other comments from the board? All right, well, seeing none, our future meeting, our regular scheduled board meeting will be November the 17th at 7 p.m. here in the Media Center, and also on December the 15th at 7 p.m. here in the Media Center. Yeah. And at the time, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.